Can you recall any gay characters from your favorite media? Now, can you recall any gay warrior cats? It is said that there are two couples that are widely considered canon in the universe of these fighting felines, Ravenpaw x Barley and Tallstar x Jake. But what if I told you there was another? A single Tom that has slipped through the cracks of time and whose sexuality remained forgotten for years. A cat whose interest in she-cats is even smaller than his size. But be careful, because not everything is what it seems. Okay, so picture this. It's around 2018, 2019. Teenage Michael is browsing Warrior Cat stuff on Tumblr. He goes through the usual posts you find on there. Fan art, character analysis, fan art, headcanon, fan art, and then it happens. He comes across an ask that says something along the lines of, "Wait, is Little Cloud canonically gay?" To which the askee responds with a very interesting answer. They alleged that many years back, around the same time that well-known TERF and Black Mold victim J.K. Rowling confirmed Dumbledore was gay, Vicky Holmes did something very similar. According to OP, she said that Little Cloud was not interested in she-cats. Now, when I originally saw this post, I thought it was complete bullcrap. I was so sure they were just making this up. There's no way it was true, right? But for some reason this ask stayed with me for years to come, just sitting there in the back of my head. During my recent break from this channel, I had an idea for a video about Warrior Cat's rumors and hoaxes. I thought it would be a fun topic to cover, and honestly, if you want me to talk about it, I might do it. But going back on track, while thinking of fake facts I should include, I got reminded of this stupid Tumblr post, and this sent me on a completely separate research journey dedicated to that. I feel like I need to explain myself on why I am so fixated on this gay Little Cloud factoid. I imagine for some of you, it may seem like just some stupid internet rumor, but what had really compelled me is just how specific it was. Most fake Warrior Cats fun facts I remember from back in the day were typically headcanons presented as real pieces of information. Stuff like Sweetpaw was buried alive, or Blue Star was scared of the Thunder Path because it reminded her of Snowfur's death. Now, compare that to Little Cloud was confirmed gay by Vicky Holmes right after Dumbledore, and you can see how insane it seems. I needed to know where that came from. Who made that up? Was it the guy who made the Tumblr post? How did they even come up with that, and why? Or maybe, just maybe, there's some truth to it all. Maybe there really is some kind of lost statement made by Vicky, completely forgotten by everyone due to its obscurity. Or maybe I'm just crazy. So, my ending goal for this video was one of two things. To either A, find the origin of this rumor, or B, find any hard evidence that may suggest this rumor is true in some way. Well, at first, when this was supposed to be just a segment in the Warrior Cats Hoaxes video, A was the only thing I had planned, but things changed when I looked more into the situation. So let me cut to the chase. This is Silverhawk. If you are someone who frequents or used to frequent the Warrior Cats tag on Tumblr, you may recognize this user. He made quite a few popular posts about the series and seemed to have had a relatively sizable following. Most of their posts consisted of memes, as well as fanart and fandom discussions. He was also probably the most adamant Little Cloud is canonically gay truther out there. From 2016 to 2017, he had made multiple posts talking about the medicine cat's sexuality. In fact, I think this ask that you're seeing on the screen right now may have been the one I remembered from years back. They'd repeat the story I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and even went as far as criticizing Cinder Little shippers and the fandom at large for being ignorant of Little Cloud liking Toms. While browsing through this blog, I was also able to find their conversation with another user, Ninja Firefox. They not only confirmed their story, but also reminisced about the fans' reception to the news. I will now read that post in full. Remember when J.K. Rowling said that Dumbledore was gay and then Vicky Holmes was like, well, you know, maybe Little Cloud liked Toms. I'm not saying he's, well, you know, but maybe he liked Toms. Maybe. And expected fans to come crawling and praising her. I remember. And remember all the anti-SJ Warrior Cats blogs that got angry at anyone who wanted more? I remember this! I remember them posting screenshots of Warriors Wikia and being like, do you see this? Here's your confirmed gay character. Little Cloud is your gay character now. Let the rest of them be straight. Oh my god. That was such an embarrassing time. I can't believe people actually believed Vicky Holmes genuinely thought that out, and it wasn't just a cash grab or a popularity booster. It was interesting to find someone who corroborated on Silverhawk's story, and that was one of the first things that made me consider the possibility of this statement having some truth to it. This wasn't any strong evidence, of course. However, the fact that there were two people strongly adamant that Vicky Holmes said something like this had to mean something. Maybe she said something that could be misinterpreted as that, or in the case of it being fake, maybe they mistook a non-canonical source for an official one. So I messaged them both and neither responded. Now, I must be very clear when I say this. For the love of God, please don't message these people about it. If they did see my message, they obviously don't want anything to do with that, and that's okay. Even if they lied, that's not a big deal. Lying about a random Warrior Cats factoid 7 years ago has absolutely no impact on the real world. It has the same gravity as telling your friends when you were 11 that your dad knows Scott Coffin and that he told you you're gonna be able to walk around the pizzeria in FNAF 4. I know this might seem a little over the top, but I really don't want these people to be flooded with random messages because of my video. Anyway, coming back to the topic at hand, one thing did make me raise an eyebrow. In the post's comment section, Ninja Firefox summed up the situation as 2014 was a wild year. But J.K. Rowling confirmed Dumbledore's sexuality back in 2007. Did this discourse have a sudden resurgence back in 2014, or did one of them mess up the dates? Perhaps we are treating this thing too seriously. As I mentioned, Silverhawk had posted a lot of joke posts in the past, like this one about predictions for the next Warrior Cats arc. Maybe this whole Little Cloud is gay thing was some kind of elaborate prank, similar to the Cloud Snap incident. The other user may have been in on the joke, but the irony has been lost on us over the years. Seems pretty plausible, doesn't it? Well, no, not at all. In fact, let me walk you through my initial gay Little Cloud timeline. That's right, we have a timeline now. The first mention of this rumor I could find traces all the way back to 2014, 2 years before Silverhawk's first post on the matter. On the 29th of September, a Tumblr user by the name of Common Warriors Misconceptions made a post analyzing Vicky's statement about not wanting to include the topic of homosexuality in the series. While talking about characters with confirmed or semi-confirmed sexualities, the author added, Little Cloud is confirmed to be something other than heterosexual via Vicky's statement that he wasn't into she-cats. What's interesting is neither under the post nor on Common Warriors Misconceptions blog did anyone question the source of the statement. The next instance of this fact I came across came from 2016. It was an ask left on a blog, Warriors Trivia, by the user Mintflavored, asking if Little Cloud was confirmed gay, to which they responded, I think he was said to not be into she-cats, implying he's either gay or aromantic asexual. I want you to hold that thought. Then we have all the posts made by Silverhawk, spanning in time from 4th of July 2016 to the 13th of August 2017. After this we have a few more miscellaneous posts. Two on Amino, one stating that Little Cloud is implied to be asexual and another that he's canonically gay, one on Tumblr whose tags implied that its author might have seen the Little Cloud is gay factoid on the wiki, and this comment by the user Lightflame on a random Little X Cinder Warrior Cats forum thread simply stating, Little Cloud is also gay. This proves that Silverhawk definitely didn't make this up. This was a piece of information that floated around the internet way before that. Also, take a look at all these posts. They all seem to point to a very specific wording of Vicky's statement, that she didn't say Little Cloud was gay, but that he wasn't interested in she-cats. Well, except that one Amino post that implies Little Cloud said this himself, but seeing how similar the wording is to the previous posts, I'm just gonna assume the author is misremembering it. Anyway, going back on track. This could lead to fans either taking it as him being gay, or as him being aromantic asexual. Now, I'm not saying this makes this statement more likely to be real, just that all these instances probably lead to the same source. Could that source be the first Tumblr post we talked about? Maybe, but we'll discuss it later. For now, it's time to do further research. As you may have noticed, two different posts in our collection, let's just call it, have referenced the Warriors wiki as a source. If you look at Little Cloud's current article, you'll find nothing even remotely referencing him being gay. But that doesn't mean it was always this way. Maybe this entire situation stemmed from someone vandalizing the article and it being misinterpreted as real fact. So I had to look through all the places on the wiki I could think of. The forums, Little Cloud's talk page, and most importantly, his edit history. Now, I didn't browse every single edit made to his wiki page. I did go through every edit from 2007 and 2014, but this turned out to be a pretty grueling and fruitless task. That's why instead, I decided to specifically focus on the edits made to the trivia section, so I wouldn't have to browse through hundreds spelling mistake corrections and minor book appearance additions. Besides, the trivia section is the place these types of facts are relegated to. We know there isn't a book where Little Cloud talks about not liking she-cats, and just how seriously would anyone take someone randomly writing Little Cloud is gay in the middle of, for example, his ceremonies section. So, I browsed through every single trivia edit made from 2011 to today, and unfortunately I found absolutely nothing. More interestingly though, I found the opposite of that. Throughout the years, multiple people have tried to sneak into the trivia section that Little Cloud was in love with Cinderpelt. Like seriously, so many people, it's intense. Maybe some of these were made by the same person from separate accounts, to which you go girl, I guess, but even then it's crazy how many times this has happened. Also, Little Cloud is all the shit. Revealed in Prophecies Begin, page 1. Great work, guys. The wiki leads seem to mostly be a dead end, but I did find something peculiar. On November 13th, just a few months after the initial Tumblr post, the Little Cloud page got logged due to possible rumor mongering. Were these two things related to each other? Maybe. To answer this and other questions, I decided to dig deeper and consult the Warriors Wiki Discord server. I thought that some older editors could perhaps shine a light on the matter and maybe even provide some info on the statement itself. I sent out a message in the general chat and didn't get much more answers about why the article got locked. However, the rumor itself did ring some bells for a few people. Their help was very appreciated in the search, but sadly, none of them could remember anything concrete. One person suggested it could have come from people misremembering Vicky's statement about Little Cloud not having feelings for Cinderpelt, but that couldn't be true. She said that back in 2016, meanwhile, as we know, the earliest mention of this fact was from 2014. Another person's theory that it could have been said during one of Vicky's visits to Poland was also disregarded for that reason, also because I was there during one of them. However, the user VickyBerry dug up something that was an absolute breakthrough in the search. They found this info on TV tropes. Now, for those of you who don't know what TV tropes is, it's a website compiling a bunch of storytelling tropes as well as different cases of their usage. It also has pages for all kinds of media and fictional characters listing the tropes they utilize. As it turns out, you can find the factoid about Little Cloud being gay not on one, but two separate pages: ambiguously gay / literature and characters in Warrior Cats' Shadow Clan. Both of them read, according to Vicky, the medicine cat Little Cloud wasn't into she-cats. This implies he's either gay or ace. I got really excited about this find. I felt like everything was finally clicking into place. TV tropes is definitely not the best place for finding information. Unlike a lot of wikis, no sources need to be provided on here, which sometimes leads to the spread of misinformation. However, due to its similar layout and the fact that they're both websites compiling facts about different series, I can totally see someone mixing up the two in their memories. I thought that someone perhaps edited this page around 2013-2014, which caused the rumor to gain traction on mid-2010s Tumblr, but I was very quickly proven wrong. These edits were made in 2019 and 2020 respectively by two different users, Pichu-kun and Snowflower2. That meant there was no way this was the origin of the rumor, but at least it gave us context that any sources talking about it past those dates might have gotten it from there. The only thing left for me to do was try to contact the editors to see if they perhaps knew anything. Pichu-kun hasn't been active since 2020, but Snowflower had made some recent edits at the time, so I shot them a message. Fortunately, they responded, but didn't provide us with much more new information. I think Vicky had stated this on her Facebook, if I remember correctly, but I can't get access to these old questions that she had answered anymore for some reason. At least I can't. I don't remember the exact question, but Vicky said something along the lines of how Little Cloud just wasn't into she-cats. That's all I remember since this was years ago. When asked if they remembered any specific dates, Snowflower said they didn't, but from looking around assumed it was somewhere in late 2014. That was where my research journey unfortunately came to an end. These were not the only sources I looked through though, only the ones I found relevant enough to mention. I browsed through Twitter, DeviantArt, BlockClan, and some captures of the old Warrior Cats forums from the Wayback Machine, but couldn't find anything about gay Little Cloud there. So, what's our takeaway from all of this? From late 2014 onward, there have been multiple people who claimed Little Cloud was either canonically gay or asexual, some more credible than others. Most of them provided very similar recounts of the story with very little contradictions between each other. Those who elaborated on it more, except for that one person on Amino, said that this was something confirmed by the Aarons, specifically Vicky Holmes. Pretty much all of them either used or implied the use of a very specific wording on Vicky's part, something along the lines of, Little Cloud is not into she-cats. Like I mentioned previously, all of these elements make me think this chain of information may lead us to the same source. Now, I think it's not too much of a stretch to suspect that the posts after 2019 may have gotten this fact from TV tropes. It may not be the most popular website, but it's still something people use, and I can totally imagine someone just believing whatever they see on there without checking, since at first glance it does seem rather reliable. There's also a chance some people from before that time could have heard about it from Silverhawk. Sure, his post didn't garner a lot of attention, but with him being a notable user and making quite a few of them, I don't think it's impossible. But what about our earliest instance of the rumor? Let's look back at that first Tumblr post by Common Warriors Misconceptions. Alongside saying Little Cloud is gay, it also proposes a few other characters are either LGBTQ or implied to be so. Most of them you will be familiar with, like Ravenpaw, Barley, Tallstar, Jake, and Mousefur, but then we have claims such as Darkstripe being implied gay and Holyleaf being canonically asexual, which definitely delve more into headcanons. That's why I wouldn't necessarily treat this post as the most reliable of sources. However, it does have almost 300 notes, which is not massive, but taking into account that it's spread through a singular community means it's definitely made its mark, even if it wasn't the biggest. Perhaps Common Warrior's Misconceptions misremembered a random statement from Vicky. Then, later on, when the post started gaining more momentum, the misinformation spread through word of mouth to other people, making them the original source of the claim. Which is what I would say if that was true! Hi, I was editing the script for this video and I realized, wait, remember that exchange between Silverhawk and Ninja Firefox? I haven't tried looking for any of those anti-SJW posts they were talking about. So I did what I should have done way before and scrolled as far down as I could for Little Cloud's tag. I was not able to find any of the hate posts, but I did find something else. An even earlier post from March of 2014 talking about Little Cloud's sexuality. It has all the characteristics of the previous posts, alleging that at some point Vicky Holmes confirmed that Little Cloud was not interested in she-cats, but also stating that it was all a publicity stunt? What the hell does that mean? My best guess is that if we take Silverhawk's statement into consideration alongside this one, Little Cloud's sexuality being confirmed so close to Dumbledore was probably the publicity stunt in question. Anyway, this is our confirmation that this fact floated around the internet before Common Warrior's Misconceptions post. Also, another thing happened just as I was finishing this up. Ninja Firefox actually responded. Unfortunately, just like many others, they didn't remember much due to how long ago everything happened. They suggested they might have seen the fact either on the Old Warriors website or Facebook. I really hoped I could finish this video on a definite note. That by the end I would be able to tell you where this rumor originated from, if there's any truth to it, and finally put this personal mystery to rest. But unfortunately, I can't. I am a rather skeptical person. If I see a statement with no sources provided, I always take it with a grain of salt. After all of this research, I still remain unconvinced that Little Cloud being queer is canon. However, some part of me does want to believe just because. I like a good mystery as much as everyone else, and having another Warriors character the LGBTQ community can claim as their own would be fun. So let's go through the arguments for and against this statement's existence. On one hand, we have the most obvious counterpoint. We have no proof that Vicky Holmes, or any of the errands for that matter, said something like this. Despite it allegedly being on Vicky's Facebook, according to some recollections, I haven't found a single screenshot or defunct link to it. It also has not been archived anywhere on the Warriors Wiki, which is rather suspicious as usually the Warriors Wiki is a very thorough source. We also need to take into consideration the timing discrepancy. We still don't entirely know when this supposed statement was put out, other than it being presumably somewhere before early 2014. Finally, there's always the possibility that this claim arose from a popular but false source, such as another Tumblr post or one of those Warriors fun fact videos that has been deleted. It has been 10 years after all. Now, looking at the arguments for its existence, the main one is definitely the consistent details between all the stories. Like I mentioned before, I don't think them having such similar recollections is a coincidence. As for the queer Little Cloud factoid not being on the Warriors Wiki, although eyebrow-raising, doesn't entirely disprove its existence. There are a few offer statements that have not been added there. For example, did you know that according to Vicky, if she wrote the series right now, Snowkid wouldn't have died? And also that he's not transgender? Don't believe me? Here's the proof.
If I could write the whole series again, yes, she would survive. She would turn up in the mountains and find the cats on their long journey. And she would be amazing, of course. I think When I first created Snowkit, I assumed that a deaf cat would not survive as a warrior. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, I think I would give her the ability to sense approaching prey through her ear fur and maybe through the ground, through her paws. So, actually he's a he, isn't he? Well, it's trans Snowkit, very popular. That's not canon.
Anyway, my point is, there's a small chance Vicky may have said that, but it came from some obscure source that hasn't been archived well. Perhaps a Facebook post that was quickly deleted, or even a spoken statement. So, my final answer to the question of, is Little Cloud gay, is ultimately maybe. I'd personally lean more into it being false, but I don't want to entirely dismiss it. A few friends of mine that I presented this topic to actually came out convinced that Vicky's statement could be real. So where do we go from here? I don't know if we'll ever be able to fully disprove or confirm this claim. All of this stuff happened so long ago that, as one of Silverhawk's posts stated, even if we asked Vicky about it, I'm not sure she'll even remember saying something like this. However, I think we can get close to it with your help. Yes, the viewers. I have been in this fandom since 2014. However, at the time I was still a kid who couldn't speak English very well, so this whole situation completely passed me by. But if you are someone who's been in the fandom from 2006 to 2014 and has or doesn't have any recollections of people discussing the errands confirming Little Cloud as gay or asexual, I'd love to hear from you. I think there's also some more research that can be done on this topic, such as finding more posts discussing it or looking for possible links. So if you have any ideas where we could go from here, sound off in the comments. Thank you for sticking till the end of the video. I'm not sure what kind of reception this one's gonna get, since this is my first time discussing a topic like this, but I thought it would be an interesting thing to talk about. Even if nothing comes out of it and it gets debunked within like 5 seconds of me putting this video out, hey, I hope it was at least entertaining. Bye bye.